Hello everyone, welcome to this week's edition of Telegraph Herald More Than the Score. I am your host Steve Ortman. Alongside me this week, Jim Leitner. Jim, we are here to talk about the Iowa Class 2A girls basketball state champions, the Cascade Cougars. The Cougars went on a phenomenal run down in Des Moines, brought home the program's first ever state championship in just their second appearance in the final. And the interesting thing about this for us here locally, what we consider to be local teams for the Telegraph Herald, Cascade is now the third team to win a championship for us. You got to go back, the last time this happened was at Western Dubuque back in 1987, and way before that, Garnavillo, 6th player, back in 1954. So kind of rare for us to see a girls basketball team break through for a title.
You know, in talking to you before you went down to the state tournament, you know, we asked you a little bit about what you thought of Cascade's chances, and I don't know that you were talking about them as a state championship contender, or, you know, a lot of times in girls basketball you'll see, well, this team is the overwhelming favorite, or the #1 seed is going to run through the tournament. But this year it seemed like that field was pretty wide open and there really wasn't a favorite. You know, tell me, how did they do it, you know, running through a field that was pretty much wide open? Yeah, now you look at this run to the state marked the 4th time in 6 years that they'd reached the state tournament, and when they got to the semifinals, it always kind of was the same story. They ran into a team that just was able to handle the ball well enough, take care of the basketball, and could shoot the three. Well, I tell you what, the Cougars were not going to let that happen from anybody this year, because the Cougars were unbelievable on defense, and what many people consider to be the top 4 teams in 2A all year. You're looking at Iowa City, Regina, North Lynn, Trainer, and Western Christian. Those teams were just fantastic all year, but they all got bumped out, and the bracket was really kind of wide open, and Cascade left their mark down at the state tournament. Started right away in the quarterfinals against Dike New Hartford. This is a team that upset undefeated top-ranked North Lynn in the regional final, and after the Wolverines got out to a 21-15 lead, even I was sitting there thinking, okay, Cascade could get in trouble here. Wolverines could be pulling away. No, Cascade 16-5 run in the second quarter, then went on a 17-7 run in the third quarter, and took care of Dike New Hartford 61-44. And after that game, you could kind of tell this is a team that was on a mission, a team that was playing really well, as usual, defensively for the Cougars. And what really almost surprises teams down there at state is every pass against Cascade, and I mean every pass, has got to be firm, it's got to be crisp, it's got to be on point. So they got a fast, athletic team that's coming after you, and they're coming after you all night. Just another example of what defense can do. Well, you know, I look at Cascade's team, and, you know, a lot of times at the state tournament, you'll see the teams that win or have a lot of success have a big girl in the middle, a big center who can really clog the lane or make things difficult. But Cascade really didn't have that big size, so they really had to rely on their athleticism. Tell me about their approach in winning without, you know, that big pivot in the middle.
Yeah, it was a lot of cutting to the basket. You had timely three-pointers. Annie Ryan, she's the best three-pointer in Cascade girls program history, a senior year. What a great year for her to go out. She was big, hitting some threes. Nicole McDermott, I cannot say enough about this sophomore guard for the Cougars. She made the all-tournament team last year. She was absolutely phenomenal. She took her game to another level, whether it was shooting the three or mostly mid-range jumpers, attacking the basket, getting fouls. McDermott was phenomenal, and she made the 2A all-tournament team once again. And another name that comes to mind, Jordan Simon. She also was named to the all-tournament team in 2A. She really stepped up. Now, the team also lost their senior leader, Abby Ruggeberg, had to sit out the last 2 games in the tournament, and Simon was a huge factor in stepping up. She was huge, hitting some three-pointers, attacking the basket, and of course everyone defensively made it happen. And that was on display in the semifinal. 3 overtimes it took Cascade, but they survived against North Union, team that had the lead, but the Cougars, once again, resiliency. Coach Mike Sconsa said it over and over again. This team is unbelievably resilient. They came back, tied the game, and then survived through 3 overtimes to pull away 62-53 over North Union. Just resilient squad.
North Union, if I recall correctly, they had a chance to win it at the end of regulation. They held for the last shot. Yep. I think it was over a minute where they had the ball. And
a minute and a half.
A minute and a half, and they were trying to hold for the last shot. You know, and that's, you know, a strategy that's, you know, I think that's a good strategy in that situation. But with North Union, I don't think they even got a shot off because of Cascade's stifling defense when it really mattered. What did the players and the coaching staff have to say about that strategy and holding them off when they were clearly holding the ball for the last shot?
Well, it made sense because in the first overtime, Cascade did the same thing. They had the ball and they held it for a minute looking for a last shot. Didn't work for them either, but it was just kind of interesting because both teams kind of got away what they were doing. They were attacking the basket so well, and it just kind of takes the flow out of the game, it seemed like, a little bit in those situations with both teams when they just held the ball looking for a final shot. But it was the defense, once again, that got the job done for Cascade. As soon as North Union passed that ball inside, boy, they just crashed down, and Jordan Simon came away with a big steal for the Cougars. And you want to talk about defense. What the Cascade Cougars did to Grundy Center in the championship game was legendary defense, Jim, because they held Grundy Center for the game 8 for 49 shooting the ball for a ghastly 16% shooting from the field. It was just remarkable how well they played defensively to win this state championship, attacking down on anyone who had the ball. I mean, McDermott throughout the whole tournament was amazing, blocking three-pointers. When you think you have an open three, all of a sudden McDermott is just over there and blocking your shot. Just incredible. Once again, though, a resilient group. The Cougars had to hold on as Grundy Center came in, made it a one-point game down the stretch. But Abby Walter, another girl who had to step up, she made the game-winning free throws with 1:04 to play, and the Cougars were able to hang on for their first ever state championship. I was able to catch up with a few of the players after the game, senior Annie Ryden and the two sophomores that made the all-tournament team, Nicole McDermott and Jordan Simon. Here is what some of the players had to say about winning a state championship.
Well, Annie, at the end of your semifinal, you said you were close to throwing up. How are you feeling after the championship game?
Yeah, it was a little nerve-wracking. I didn't feel like I was going to throw up then, but I was definitely getting a little nervous. I didn't know we were going to be able to come back from them coming back from we had a 9-point lead, I think, or something like that, and yeah, it was a little nerve-wracking.
Sure. Now, fourth quarter, 33-32, Grundy Center pushing you guys hard. You hit a huge three to make it 36-32. How bad did you guys need that? And what went through your mind?
Yeah, we needed it really bad, and I was like, we need a three-pointer. We need something to get us going again because, I mean, we're a little bit down on ourselves, and I just needed to go, and I just needed to have confidence in my shot, and that's what I did. I just had confidence thinking, this is going to go in. Annie, you need to do this for your team because we wanted it really bad, and it got our momentum back up, and it really helped us.
Now take me through the defense on that inbounds play. 4 seconds to go. They got a chance to tie the game, 39-37. You get the tip when it goes up by the three-point line. Nicole grabs the steal. What was the play defensively there?
Well, we just had Mr. Sconzo had told us to go on ring to guard number 13, and that's what we were doing. We were just trying to get on her, and I think that we're pretty fast. I mean, Nicole's pretty fast, so that's kind of helps us, and she can jump pretty high too. But yeah, I just think that if we were going to get on number 13, that's what we had to do. We just had to stop her.
Just talk about the hallmark of this team: gritty, tough, fight to the end. We just saw it on display so much here during this tournament.
We knew that we had to get after it this last game. We had to take everything out of what we had, knowing we played yesterday, and those 3 overtimes we had to push through today.
Talk about your play at the guard position. Obviously, you guys saw a lot of pressure there. They made that run, but how key was it to get the ball down court and finish things off?
Yeah, exactly. We had to get the ball down to our side and just score. We had to slow things down, attack the basket, and get those shots up.
And what does it mean to you personally to be named to the 2A All-Tournament team now 2 years in a row here as a sophomore?
I don't know, it's pretty exciting, I guess, but Jordan Simon made it too, so that's really exciting for her too.
What does it mean to be a state champion, the first championship in the history of Cascade basketball?
It means so much because it's just our fans and everything that everyone's going to remember this, and just the first time we could do it and be with this team is just amazing.
Talk about the thrilling conclusion to both of these last 2 games. Semifinals, you go to triple overtime here. Grundy pushes you guys right to the end. It's just a hallmark of this team, being able to pull it out at the end?
We just really knew we had to be our tough selves and that we could, if we stand our ground and we just play our defense, that we could really come out on top.
Yeah, can you talk about Coach's words there after Grundy made that run, came within 1 point in the fourth quarter? What do you tell you guys to kind of slow things down, settle down?
He just kind of told us to slow down and relax and just keep playing our game and just to get stops on defense, and that's what we do best, so it just really helps us out.
Now, Abby Ruggeberg out these last 2 games. Did you and some of your other teammates take kind of responsibility to really kind of pick things up a little more on your end?
Yeah, we really just knew that without her shots and her defense to be there, that we had to step up and we had to be the bigger girls inside and just get our shots going and keep the confidence up.
You guys ever going to forget this run?
All right, well, obviously very emotional, exciting win for Cascade to win that elusive state championship. Another player I failed to mention who was terrific every game down there was Rachel Trum. She was fantastic attacking the basket, and she actually led the entire 2A tournament field in rebounds down there. She was huge rebounding the basketball, another key area for Cascade, which is why they are the state champions. So they are going to lose a couple seniors, Annie Ryan, Abby Ruggeberg, but this team brings back some fantastic talent, so it'll be interesting to see how Cascade can follow up on that. All right, and that is going to do it for this week's edition of Telegraph Herald More Than the Score. I'm your host, Steve Ortman, alongside Jim Leitner. Congratulations to the Cascade Cougars, and we will see you next week.